Hey there. Today my goal is to work on a little setup I'm getting for my goats so that I can watch them at night. I keep hearing them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't really tell what's going on, if it's that there's problems with them, or if they're just just making a racket. So I invested in some security cameras so that I can turn those on in the middle of the night and just see what my goats are seeing. Make sure there's no coyotes or bobcats in with them. Make sure they're just down there making a racket, fussing at each other, and not needing help. So today's video is sort of an unboxing of the equipment that I'm going to use, and potentially a putting together of some of that equipment. It just is going to depend on how much I can get done before I start losing the sun. When I ordered this, I thought I was going to get two sort of medium-sized solar panels, and that might be the case. I've not opened it yet. This box is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and so it's possible that I've misunderstood and it's just one long panel. I'm really hoping that it's two smaller panels that'll be easier to work with. So let's open it up and see what's in there. So it appears that I've gotten two moderately large solar panels, more than what I was expecting to come up with, but I don't know if you can see my head next to one of these things, but that's rather large compared to what I have had before. The ones that I've had before were probably only about this long, about half the size of this. So I may end up only needing one for the job that I've got to do, and I may end up saving the other one and just trying to use it for something later on. In addition to the solar panels, the kit came along with some other equipment. One of the items they're calling a Wanderer, but what it's supposed to do is to help keep in check the power coming from the solar panels going to the batteries, and then also keeping in check the power that could be going back from the batteries in toward the solar panels. So this sort of is designed to keep the solar panels and the battery working together instead of working against each other or causing one component to be a problem for the next. And we've got here, you can see on the front, we've got some indicators that let you know whether or not the battery is connected properly. Also indicator as to whether or not the charge is being completed like it needs to be, and this PV is likely also an indicator telling that the solar panel, the panel voltage is what it needs to be. Down at the bottom we have two plug-ins. You can see the power cords, the electrical cable will go into these little holes here at the bottom, and then this just allows you to keep up with which ones are going to the panel and then which ones are going to the battery. And that way the what they're calling a wanderer here will a lot of other places call it a solar charge controller, and they've got that here, but they've named theirs specifically a wanderer. But this just keeps up with what the power is doing when it's going and coming from the solar panel and the battery. The next component to this operation is the battery. The recommendation here, everything I've seen has been to use a marine battery. So that's what I have. Apparently the cycle is a little bit different from your standard car battery, and so it's able to hold a charge better and take a charge better, and also run devices longer. And also probably has something to do with the terminals. I'm not going to take the plastic off here, but you can see there are two terminals in both the positive, here positive, and then the negative locations. And those are nice because it gives you something that you can connect to for this particular solar panel. Can run to either the large terminal here or to the small terminal, and then if you're adding batteries to make your power last longer, then you have something separate to connect additional batteries to, rather than having to use one terminal and try to connect your panels and your additional batteries to the same terminal. In addition to the solar panel and the batteries, other things that you need to be prepared to have are going to be some electric wire. I like having some red just in case I have to switch over from switches or anything where the convention is to use red, but also I get white for my my positive and black for my negative, and that way, sort of by convention, I'm able to keep up with where all my wires are going. The other thing that I've gotten here is a plug, something that would fit my power cables for the cameras that I intend to use. It's got an open end here that you can run your wiring into, and then the regular plug side here, like so. Power cord's coming into here, and then I'll plug my my camera into one of the three additional plugs that I've got here, and that should round out the power system for my cameras very nicely. Away from the solar panel, we're going to do a little work here where we got a little bit of a table on the bed of the truck, and we're going to take and connect the solar panel connections here, and then we're going to take the wire that we've got for the battery terminal and connect it here. The wire for the battery, or rather the solar panel, was provided with a connector on one end, and then this section of wire that can easily be made bare on the other end. First thing we have to do is loosen the screws. They're all tightened up at this point, so we loosen them to allow the wire to go in. Now we just take and insert the wire into the opening. Tighten it to the best we can. Pull snug. It's snug. Then we go to the negative. The next step was to get the wire that I intend to use for my negative and my positive, and strip the tip of the wire off, the insulation off, so that it can make contact with the leads inside of the charge controller. Now I'm going to take my positive lead, what I want to be my positive lead, insert it into the controller, and then tighten down my connector. Good and snug. Now we're going to do the negative the same way. Take it, make sure it's in good shape, insert it into the connector, tighten it down. Now we have the cables for the solar panel, positive, negative, and the cables for the battery, positive, negative. This is where I decided to put my solar panel, on top of the goat shed, facing it in the right direction so that it should get sun most of the day. Got it propped up on some sturdy 6x6s that I have in place up there. And my next step is going to be to take these connectors that go to the pieces that I've just connected to the controller, and I'm going to run those through the top of the shed so that they can meet up with the controller cables on the other side. Currently I have my charger controller hanging on a rusty nail. I will come back and reinforce that with some screws to keep it up off the ground, keep the goats from knocking it over. You can see where charge cables coming in at the top, and it's going to connect to these cables here. So that's going to be my next step.